What is creation? As far as what you humans know, creation is an act of inventing or producing something, like for instance, here you have two human individuals devoting their skills to building an underground house. As you can see, these two men are doing a very good job, and the reason for this, it involves them having a vision and being devoted and committed to finishing the house that they imagined in their minds. My main point: if these two humans had not relied on those requirements that I just mentioned, then the underground house they are trying to construct would not have been possible, because to be able to create the house, it would require them to be present and to rely on the creation techniques, just as these two men are doing right now. This just demonstrates the point that something cannot be created, especially without an intelligent designer, ensuring that their creation comes to life exactly as they imagined it. For instance, this machine, as you can see, is creating something as well, and the only way a machine can achieve this is by relying on those creation requirements I mentioned earlier, which in the case of a machine, it requires a human programming it to follow certain instructions that specify what the automated system should be doing, and how its various components must function in order to accomplish the desired result. This, of course, was the process we utilized to create the universe itself. You have now entered the beyond. Here is where you will be learning the truth about the mysteries of reality, and who or what controls it, including learning why living things, such as yourself, are existing on a planet that floats in the middle of nowhere. You will also get to discover things that you never knew about your species, like learning why humanity possesses intellectual powers that allows them to create incredible technologies, and why your species was destined to transform into something out of a science fiction story. As the information will be exposed by the creators from beyond. I welcome you back to our channel. As the title suggested, we will be discussing the power of creation, also clearing why the human species are the only living organisms on Earth to possess this incredible ability, which no other creature has. And we are going to be doing this by giving you an accurate interpretation about the importance of innovation and what it means to give birth to an invention. So, let us start by converging on what the word creation means. According to the Human Dictionary, it means the action or process of bringing something into existence. And as I noticed, the humans are a bit confused when it comes to this word, and the reason has to do with humans not being properly taught about the word. This explains why most humans don't understand more about this advantage that they possess, an advantage that has allowed their species to create with impunity for thousands of years, which was also possible when humanity continued on passing their knowledge from generations to generations, allowing future humans to create, which now seems like for an eternity. Well then, let us begin our creation journey by going deep into the creation concept, as I show you firsthand how the creation concept works, because in the end, the creation theory has to make sense, especially if you really want to be able to fully understand it. So, I will begin by demonstrating how we creators create, as I show you how the original, not secondary, organisms are developed using our creation system. But before I begin, I want to mention our system is extremely advanced, meaning we are able to create living things with ease. So creation for us is not as challenging as compared to how humans still create in the present time. Our system basically performs more like a super advanced brain. We designed this brain system to calculate how much genetic information is needed to help form a particular organism. And since we invented the system that makes us experts when it comes to genetic engineering, we recognize genetic engineering as science genetics. Basically, it's a system that decides the looks and how those genes will contribute to the creation of further generations later in life. Genes are essentially the architecture blueprints, whose primary job is to designate a set of genetic instructions to build the organism and allow it to grow and develop. The interesting part about these architecture blueprints is the fact that they are tiny little cells that behave more like high-end computers, each programmed to simultaneously install loads of instructions into the memory of other cells, and as far as what the organism will look like will, of course, depend on what we are trying to create. In this case, we are trying to form a human being. So to make it possible, we would need at least 10,000 of these architecture blueprints to help develop the organism that was intended. If, for some reason, you find this topic questionable, that's because humans are not yet capable of genetically engineering their own living creatures. But there are a few humans on the planet that possesses this ability, confirming humans may one day transform into what we creators are. I would now like to talk about science creationism, a program strategy for developing life, known as the scientific method, a program strategy which humans have been using for centuries without even realizing it. Thanks to this system, humans were able to create all the things that exist around them. And as the years goes on, we expect to see them continuing this tradition well into the future. A good example about science creationism could be seen in creations like open-world game simulations or with future robotics. And I say this because they symbolize the beginning of life. Even if these things were created by humans, either way they still represent the origin of existence. It just doesn't matter how a human sees it. In the end, what matters is that you humans learn. A creation cannot create itself, especially without the involvement of science and technology. I want to show you humans this open-world game simulation that pretty much mirrors the world you humans are experiencing every day. If you were to stare at it for a long time, you would start believing the simulation is alive. The company that developed this game was nice enough to even leave behind some clues, like for instance, the existence of aliens and the suspicion that they had something to do with the creation of the world. You see this as the pedestrians, mostly the homeless ones, are rambling about aliens.
I don't mind being alone,
you
boy.
stupid fucking gray alien.
Hear my words, people. Hear my words.
Fuck you, reptilian.
This game, which was also developed by the same company, also mentions the suspicion of aliens. But this time, they do it by pointing out the existence of UFOs, which is an interesting gesture for an open-world game. Regardless of this, what I really wanted for you to see is the realism that was placed on this game. And now, let me present you with a more advanced open-world video game, which also was developed by the same company. It's called Red Dead Redemption. This open-world simulation focuses on the latter half of the Wild West era, which happened during the late 19th century. And like the company's previous games, it also dared to point out that aliens have been around for a very, very long time. Here we have a more advanced simulation, which was designed to demonstrate what humans are capable of accomplishing when they have the right technologies. This tech demo showcases the power of Epic's Unreal Engine 5. As you can see for yourself, this simulation does look more like the world you are existing in. A world which was developed by game developers to demonstrate how close they are to creating real worlds in a computer. If you really think about it, it's not difficult to imagine game developers creating their own physical worlds on future more advanced computers, which according to my prediction, will exist in about another 100 years from now, laying the foundation to another world that is going to be inhabiting physical living things, similar to how planet Earth is currently inhabiting these types of things, proving once and for all, humans could also be existing in a simulation themselves, The only difference, they are all existing in a simulation that was developed by, you guessed it, our kind. This is what planet Earth used to look like before we began depositing life on this planet. Currently, you are witnessing the transformation of planet Earth into a more habitable planet, which required a terraforming process which involves raising the temperature, adding oxygen to the atmosphere, and then covering the planet's surface with water. As a result, we were indeed able to deposit vegetation and other organic life, thus giving life to the place you humans call home. Well, we appear to have reached the end of the video. We hope we were successful in making sense of the creation theory for all of you, as we are aware how this theory has perplexed humans for several generations, which is why I was doing my best to keep it simple for those of you who are existing today. With that said, if you found the video educational, then feel free to press the like button, or, to see more, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, so you can be notified once we upload new videos. But, before I leave, I want to remind all of you humans of something very important. Never forget, you are not alone.